Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay, not too bad. Um, just pondering, like the different paths that people walk spiritually, like, what is their end goal? Have you noticed, like, in people that you know, that, have they, like, like if they have ill intent towards you, have they been exposing their ill will towards you more openly? I've kind of noticed that with people. It's like, which is probably a really good thing, you know. I'm not telling anybody unless it involves like my children or, um grandchildren, something like that. Pretty much anybody can do anything they want, whatever way you meet your maker. That's I personally don't have to have you with me in my afterlife, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not going to push my beliefs on anybody like that. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do, but if it does two things, I guess, inflicts harm upon my child or myself personally, because if it involves my child, that reflects on people that are related can feel each other, you know. Well, the spirit of God's like that too. But so anyway, just been putting a lot of thought into that because like like with a parent that is having a separation with a child, it's like, um is that child kind of like really dying in front of you, or are they just becoming more of the person that they have always been? You know, that's the thing. It's like, so if I don't like my kid, obviously my kid doesn't like me, or I would like my kid. We would be a like, you know. Do you see my point? So I've been putting a lot of thought into it because I don't really even feel sad or bad, and I hope nobody else does either because it's just the path they're walking. So keep your spirits up. What I'm saying is maybe they liked you when they were little because they depended on you or whatever. But as adults, if you really don't like each other and you have things like certain things like at the same relative age, you would know what stage you were in as a person. That's their walk. You know, you can't walk it for them. He can be an example, and but as far as me actually going out of my way to reach out to somebody that has the level of love and respect for me of a P, you know, that's kind of like, I can still love a person and tell them I don't like them, I guess is my point, you know, and make them admit they don't like me either, because if they did, we would be alike. It's like kind of like being in love, but you're alike. you know, do you want to spend time with a person that is causing you heartache? Not really, not for me. You know, if a person can cause me heartache from miles away over the phone, I don't want them in my house. Why would I? You know, because I know a person that's going through something with his son. And if the kid's like listening to the dark force shit in this world to make his way in life, well, then he's going to have to reap what he sows. That's what happens. But, they'll never admit them when they have some shit times in their lives because nothing's ever even keel, and it never will be. It'll always be turmoil that they create for themselves. And that's what I try to tell people. But people that say karma isn't real, then when the karma train runs right over them, they're like, oh, well, that wasn't karma. And God tells their heart again, you know, we convict ourselves in our hearts. If we do something wrong, we're like, wow, you stop it there. If you're of God, it's gone. It's like, okay, that's really not who I am, you know, that type of thing. So it's like, yeah, no matter what. But I guess you have to be willing to face the dragon in your own self before you can point it out in another person. If you've walked with God and you've been convicting your heart the whole time, maybe even before time, then you know who you are and where you stand, you're good to go. You know, I'm just telling people that are not good to go, that think they are, that they're not, and I can't make them see that, but I can ask God to show them. That's all I can do. So, yeah, don't be disheartened if your kids walk in a separate path, or your parent or your spouse, or that's what they're doing for their own selves. Maybe they're not ready to walk into the house of the Lord, you know, and or maybe they're afraid. Whichever it is, wish them well and keep your emotions in check, because crying over this is like spilt milk, literally. We are in this matter that Satan controls the flesh. It's like I shared a post from Sean Baker, MD, that is carnivore diet, um, asking the question that I was wondering. And that's how it is with God will put something, he'll hear me think, and it'll be in people that thought through ourselves, with God's spirit conducting all of us. And um, then my question is answered, either for spiritual or for my body or whatever it is. I get the answer to the question that I was wondering from my heart. So I wonder to God, and He gives it to somebody to give to me, you know, is that communication, whether it be in the ether or thought or however you're thinking in your flesh. But okay, there's another thing. Satan does control this flesh. And I ask people, like, if you're having God bless your food before you eat, if I just had to eat meat, that would be the grossest thing in the world for me. I would eat less. And I definitely eat less of the meat. You'd have no cakes, no carbs, no nothing except meat. Well, it's a denser thing to put in, but um, and to ask God to bless that food and give thanks for that food is a very big deal. You keep healthier. It's almost like, even if you don't think it every single bite you take in your life, having the mindset of where that energy comes from when you consume anything is a good idea. That's my outlook on stuff, and I believe I am healthier for those thoughts, you know? And like I said, if I just had to eat meat, ugh, and a person would consume less because it's a denser calorie food, um, as gross as it seems to me, because I just could not be just a carnivore, you know, because of the symbolic nature of how Satan does control this realm of the flesh, not our souls inside. So, he's in control of that shit. You know, it's a fact. So you better be blessing your food. Have God bless your food, you know. So, and it will help you stay healthy of mind and heart and soul and body, you know. So, yeah, and I'm speaking from experience. There's times, even if I was sick or whatever, didn't feel well, and didn't even have a thought of what I was eating, just being a glutton, you know. Um, and I paid for that. You know, you pay for it, is what I'm saying. You do. So, and I really love people. That's why I'm out here talking, you know, the way I talk and what I'm doing and saying. I know it's for certain people in particular, and they're the same ones that would tell me what to do, and I would hear them. You know, we're all gifted with God like that if we share our messages in the most gentle way we can, you know. Some people like it rough and you just gotta give it to them, you know. I'm just kidding. You know what I mean, though. Like the proverbial smackdown with words, you know. It's like, don't be afraid to use your swords, people, but just get your shields up first, you know. So, but anyway, I know a lot of people are suffering like that, and I just want you to know we're all going through it, you know. We really are. Um, they're not, trust me on this, they are not certain what they're doing. And that's the part in the Bible when it says they know not what they do. They really don't really have um, the full picture of it, you know. So just keep that in mind. You know, they really, really don't. And oh, I don't know. There's something else I was thinking about this morning. Maybe it will come to me soon here. Um, I don't know. Oh, now I got it. As above, so below. And people say hell on earth. Well, there was a time in heaven, there was a war that Satan, that Lucifer started, and that was hell. And it will not be as above, so below. That's what their little joke of showing the tree of life. Um, it's not that things won't work out or that the tree isn't a whole thing. It's that the tree was tainted and God had to debug it so it could stand upright. You know, that's what's going on. So it will not be as above, so below. In that respect, not how they're saying it. Yes, the New Jerusalem will come down into the hearts of people. And the ones that are evil will die off, and their seeds will not remain. And that's how God cleans the earth. Yes, they literally kill themselves. So they write their own names out of the book of life. So you'll never even know they existed unless your mind's so powerful that you've carried your mind from one existence to another and you know who you are. Then you know what I'm talking about. So there's no worries in that area at all. Their souls will remain who they are. You know, they can lift them up. They have a chance. This is like a college that you can graduate from, but you have to go to school. You know, can't graduate without going to school on this one. So, anyway, that's what I was just telling Doug this morning about playing with high rollers, blackjack, dealing to people that would have like $4 grand a hand, and I asked the guy one time, it was like, I just had to know, how can you put that amount of money down on one hand? And they're always constantly coming in, the floor people, changing the shoes will hold like 7 to 9 decks of card at a time. And a good dealer's going to know how to card count all of them. And if you've got a player that's witty and also a card counter, it can be challenging. So the floor people are constantly bringing in new shoes for the dealer. So actually, it's always against the patron of the casino. It's always against the player. House usually wins, that type of thing. But it is a game of wits with that dealer and a good card counter. And I had a lot of fun with some of them older dudes in the high stakes because they really only, okay, but my point was, so I asked him, how can you like throw down this amount on one hand? And he's like, he puts a certain amount, a set amount on what he's going to spend, and then that's it. That's self-control. Not everybody had all that. I seen some people like throw away entire fortunes, but there's other people, or they could play all day because they could just afford it, but or go eat something and come back and play, you know, kick around the casino. And now there's more stuff up there. When I was there, there wasn't like there's a beauty salon, barber shop. There was gift shops and restaurants, but now they've got all kinds of stuff. Couple different hotels, and there's a movie theater that's been there the whole time, but they're all not connected, but on the same land, the casino land there. So I used to go to work on 777 Lucky Lady Drive. I'd take a back road in and probably, oh no, well, maybe I might have had a couple hits or something. Never know. I doubt it. I was pretty sober back in them days, so yeah. Yes, I was, as a matter of fact. But yeah, because I had to take a test before I could, I think, might have been, yeah, almost like a really long time I hadn't had anything to smoke. Let me think. I'm trying to think. Oh, yes, I did. A few times I would smoke on the back roads. Then it was like, I think a few months in or something, my youngest son and I were sitting in the car one day, and I had a little bag and a really nice pipe. I wish I wouldn't have thrown, but I just whipped it out the window because I think I was so pissed off at the people around me in my life that were using and abusing everything in sight, that I was just so pissed off and disturbed about all the bullshit, all of it. It's like, but I smoke now again. I started about, maybe 8 years ago after a 10-year hiatus. But that time when I whipped it out the window, I didn't touch it again until after my kids came back from living with their dad. He brought one back, the other one he kicked out. But yeah, the courts awarded him on a lie. Even my oldest son's like, if he knew, he wouldn't have told untruths to go stay with his dad. But him and his brother ended up going there. But when they came back, they were already into like the drug scene and all that shit. So anyway, Yeah, it's been a long life. But yeah. So then I got sick of all that shit around me too, with them being like either young men or teenage men at that point. And one time, like in front of my well, my youngest son had a friend that we've known like ever since he was a little boy, and he would bring some smoke over occasionally. And one day my oldest had told me that he was gonna sit around till he was like 48, and Doug's gonna just let him have weed and smoke and do whatever he wants. No, these are his words. He went out and told my husband, "You will buy my mom a bag like every so often." Or I'm like, "Oh, is that right? You said that?" I called this dude up and I'm like, "Oh, by the way, I just want you to know you're selling meth, I heard. I hope you get busted." you know? Well, that kind of would then make sure that I never got any herb again. So I made that decision at that time for my kids. It's like, oh, you want to play games for drugs and people's lives and that type of thing. It's like, so I got this way about me about and then I stopped for like 10 years, you know, and just started again about 5, 6 years ago, something like that, you know. Well, maybe about 8 now, somewhere in there, you know, 7. I don't know. I'd have to really sit down and think about it, but nah, it's not worth it. No biggie. Just telling you what's on my mind today and why. And my point is don't let these punk ass people that are being guided by the force of evil to make their way in life. Um, and they all know who they are, each together, like we all know who we are too. Don't let them hurt you. It's not worth it. They're not hurting. I mean, they're hurting inside in a certain way, and only God can fill that spot. So, and if you're doing something wrong, that spot starts growing, because it hurts. It physically hurts your heart. You know, Satan will rip that bitch open. You got to put God in there. Otherwise, if you keep that Satan in there, and it is an anger, you keep that in you, in your flesh, it'll rip you apart, and you'll become somebody you aren't meant to be. There's too many cold hearted people. It seems like a practice almost, right? Well, it is. And it's a craft. That's another thing I was going to touch on real quick. How people into dark arts and crafts, arts and crafts, get it? Literally, uh, can like project dreams and thoughts, daydreams, or nightmares, and put you in a situation that is theirs, or put somebody else's, like say it's an avatar and it looks like somebody else, but say like if they were trying to get, I haven't had this happen for decades, but in past me on my past life, um in the past, where they would try and put like somebody other than my spouse in my thought at night or day, or you in somebody else's position. They can project those things into your thoughts, conducted by Satan, and it is a real thing. That's how incubuses and succubuses work, like that. And those are all real. These are crafts these people actually do, and it is doo doo. But if you've had them strange nightmares, daydreams, or daymares, you know, don't own them. Don't worry about it. Not all dreams mean something. sometimes when you're awakened, it might be God waking you up so they can't manipulate your thoughts in your sleep, you know. So don't be alarmed. There's a lot of that type of stuff going on in the world. You know, they're afraid to do it to me anymore because I track them down and etherically beat their ass. You know, then I pinpoint their energy and I attack it. So, and if you're one of them, I might have waited doing that to you, but your time's coming. So just a word to the wise, you know, because you know I'm not a liar. So just be careful. I'm just asking you to be careful. I care up to a point. So, all right, everybody. Use your armor. You know, that's basically what this video's about. Don't let them pull your vibe down, and fill that spot with God, and you're good to go. So, I love you, bunches. Thank you for listening to me, everybody. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace.